Good morning, traders, and welcome to NewsWare's Trade Talk for Friday, March 6th. Let's get into the action. Take a look at the S&Ps. We're actually down 0.52%. We continue to slide, and really this is a sharp reaction to the spike in oil prices that occurred, this morning. I mean, energy stocks, are continue to move higher. Airline stocks continue to weaken, and it's really due to the cost pressure of the price per oil. I mean, and oil prices were actually falling overnight. The fact is that the Department of Energy gave India a waiver for 30 days to buy Russian oil. That was good because all this Russian oil is just sitting out there at sea. But then this morning, a news report from the energy minister of Qatar, he warned that the Middle East could halt energy exports from the region within days, and that could potentially push oil up to $150 a barrel. That's enormous. I haven't seen, I've seen big spikes in oil, but 150, wow. But it is possible. I mean, the fact of the matter is if they shut production, that's going to cause a real havoc in the markets. Today we get the non-farms payroll report coming out. Now, listen, it's expected to be a little weak. I'm not going to be too concerned with it because the focus really is on the Middle East today. In the Middle East, Iran issued a statement saying that it is not asking for a ceasefire. What else we have? President Trump, he's going to be meeting with the executives of a host of defense companies today on the earnings front. Marvell, Samsara, PBR, they're all trading higher after their earnings releases. Cooper Company, COO, Costco, COST, they're trading lower after their earnings releases. Oh, and Gap too is also trading lower. That's the big one that's moving lower this morning. But looking ahead to next week, we got a host of big earnings. We got Hewlett Packard Enterprises. We got Casey General Stores. We got Kohl's Stores. We got Oracle. We got Campbell's Soup Company. We got Dick's Sporting Goods, Lanier Corp. We got Ultra Beauty and Adobe all set to release next week. So next week could be very pivotal in terms of earnings. Okay, now we're moving over to Europe, and we're taking a look at the action. Europe opened up higher. It really did. It opened up higher, if you can believe it. It was trading higher, and then it went flat to lower, and now it's down. You look at the DAX, it's down 0.8%. You look at the FTSE, it's down 0.7%. You look at the CAC, it's down 0.78%. The trading is fragile, and it's really, news coming out of the Middle East. That war has entered the seventh day, and there's no clear signs of de-escalation. Israel launched another round of attacks last night. I mean, energy stocks, defensive stocks are benefiting from these higher crude prices. That's the one bright spot that you got to take a look at. But Europe is trading in the red this morning. Asia, on the other hand, was pretty much in the green. You look at the Nikkei. The Nikkei gained 0.62% last night. That's 342 points. And they were supported by gains in financial and tech stocks. Tech stocks delivered a mixed performance, I'll say. Then you look at Hong Kong. The Hang Seng was up 1.72%. And it was, tech really led the moves in Hong Kong. In Shanghai, in China, they were up 0.38%. The two sessions meeting, Beijing reaffirmed its commitment to expand investment in high-tech sector. The Chinese government also set a 2026 GDP target of 4.5% to 5%, which is lower than what they've done in the past. But, they're taking in economic conditions, and they're a little bit concerned. Now we turn the page and we're looking at oil. And here's oil. It's spiking. We got WTI up 5.21%. That's up to $85.23. $85.36. Then you got Brent. Brent's trading $88.26, up 3.34%. So you're seeing this big rally. Crude has experienced an 18-20% rally since the hostilities began last week, and it's largely due to the supply disruptions along that key export or the key transportation route, the Strait of Hormuz, which I was telling you yesterday. It's like, the U.S. can say all they want about being able to defend it, have ships go along with the oil tankers, but the fact is that Iran has missiles that can be launched from the ground. And that's the issue, because you can't protect them when they're being launched from the ground. And the oil prices did dip overnight for a little bit because, the Treasury Department granted that 30-day waiver allowing India to continue to purchase Russian oil. But, this morning's comment from the Qatar energy minister, really just, blew prices higher. And, $85.39 a barrel. Wow, that's high. I haven't seen that in a long time. Okay, now we're turning the page and we're looking at earnings. We're talking about Costco, ticker COST. Stocks trading off by about 0.4%, but they delivered a beat of 4 cents on higher revenue. It wasn't a bad report. Then you look at Marvell, ticker MRVL. They beat by. They also came out with earnings. They beat by a penny, and they did that on higher revenue. And that stock's up 12.04%. It's very positive. Then we have a host of upcoming earnings next week that I was saying. But for Monday morning, you got Beta Technologies. EPS is for a loss of 52 cents. Expected move is 18.70%. You got Korn Ferry, KFY. Their EPS is $1.72. Expected move is 8.99% when they release on Monday morning. That's all I'm seeing. Now we're turning the page and we're looking at economic reports for the day. At 8:30 a.m., we get the non-farms payroll report. This is the big one. It's not as big as it normally is, but because we have the Iraq situation. But estimates are looking for a number between 50 and 60,000. Now that'd be a significant drop from January's plus 130 focus. I think it comes in higher than 50,000. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see a print in the 70s or 80s. But I don't think that even a strong print is going to affect this market today because it's all about the Middle East today. What else do we see? We got some Fed speak going on today. We got Cleveland Fed Bank President Beth Hammack. She's going to be speaking at 1:30 p.m. today. Okay, let's take a quick look at the peek at the markets and see what we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of down stocks. I got four in the Dow. I got four stocks. Four? Yep, I got four stocks higher. Everything else is either unchanged or lower, not positive. Look at my FANG stocks; they're all trading lower. It's just not a good day for equities this morning. We're really going to be seeing some weakness here. In terms of news hidden behind the tape, like, Apple, Taiwan's Foxconn, they see limited impact from the Middle East, and, that's kind of a positive for Apple. But, you look at Apple, it's down, 0.5% this morning. You look at Amazon, which is also trading lower by about 0.9%. They experienced some technical difficulties yesterday with their online shopping. Netflix, they acquired a company called Interpositive, which is an AI film-making technology, terms not disclosed. Moving on to Dow Jones 30 stocks, we got to talk about Nike. They expect to take a $300 million charge from their recent cost-cutting efforts. Microsoft, their gaming CEO, the head of their gaming CEO division, he pointed to a next-generation gaming Xbox console. Johnson & Johnson is in the news. The latest drug cycle is seen as a positive for an earnings beat when those earnings come out next month. Johnson & Johnson is down 1% this morning. In terms of guidance news, Cooper Companies, ticker COO, Charlie Oscar. They see full year 2026 EPS coming in $4.58 to $4.66, where the street estimate is $4.51. That's an uptick. But you look at the stock this morning, and Cooper Companies is trading lower by about 3%. Marvell, ticker MRVL, they see Q1 EPS coming in $2.4 billion plus or minus 5%. Street estimates $2.28 billion, so that's a nice uptick. Samsara, ticker IoT, India, Oscar Tom, they see Q1 EPS coming 12 to 13 cents. Street estimates 12 cents. Yeah, kind of an uptick, I guess. Call it an uptick. IoT, Samsara. Okay, now we talk about some catalyst calls going on this morning. Bank of America did a double upgrade on Hayward Holdings, ticker HAYW this morning, upgrading it to buy. WVE, William Victor Edwards, Citibank opened up a 30-day catalyst watch on Wave Life Sciences. That's interesting. Okay, now we're going to move on. We're going to talk about our stock of the day, which is Zim Integrated Shipping Services. Okay, earnings are due out Monday morning. It's ticker ZIM, Zebra, India, Mary. Earnings are due out Monday morning. EPS is for a loss of $1.01, but the expected move is 8.37%. Now, yesterday's call volume was 8,140 calls versus 1,536 puts. that's a huge divergence. But the open interest is a little more even, 134K to 126K. Major brokers love the stock. They're raising price targets. They're all over the stock, But for me, I want to get in 28. Dollars is kind of what I'm thinking. If I can get in under 28, that'll be a benefit. But I mean, that's my pick of the day. Zim Integrated Shipping Services, ticker ZIM, Zebra, India, Mary. Don't want to hold it into Monday morning if I don't have to. But hopefully I get that gain today, that 1% gain during the day today. Okay, now we're moving on. Now we're moving on to our hot off the press to see if there's any hot news hitting the tape in the last 15 minutes or so. Christopher Waller, Fed governor, said the Fed should look through oil price spike. Easy to say, but you don't know how long the oil prices are going to stay elevated. And if they go to 150, you're in a problem. Because that's really inflationary. Costco to pilot automated pay stations. Keep an eye on DraftKings, DKNG. You got to remember that the college basketball playoff starts in like 11 days. It's a big sporting betting period. So DKNG typically rallies around that time. Delta Airlines, they're doing a big risk management restructuring. The COO is retiring. The chief marketing officer is also leaving. So big restructuring going on over at Delta Airlines. RTX, Lockheed Martin, Boeing, executives are going to be meeting with President Trump today. Campbell Soup got a downgrade, price target downgrade from Morgan Stanley. Their earnings are next week. That's not positive. Oracle got an overweight rating and 280 price target at Wells Fargo. Remember, their earnings are also due out next week. That's typically a positive when you get upgrades ahead of your earnings announcement. JP Morgan's out there even raising the price target on Costco. Ford Motor Company is recalling 1.74 million vehicles in the U.S. as a rear-view camera defect may prevent images from displaying. Federal judge awarded Pfizer $29 million to resolve a dispute with the SEC. U.S. airliners no longer hedge fuel costs. That could hurt margins if the Iran conflict continues. That's all I'm seeing this morning. Okay, now we're going to move on to yesterday's stock of the day, which was Methanex, MEOH, Michael Edward Oscar Henry. Listen, this thing just ran out of the gate. I mean, I was expecting a little weaker of an opening price. It didn't. I mean, the stock opened up at $53.53. It fell down to $53.35, but I had my order in for $53.10. I never got filled. But then it took off and it ran. It ran well more above the 53 opening price. It actually ran up to 57.43. That's like a 6% move before closing at 57.05. Listen, this one was a big winner yesterday before the earnings announcement. Stocks back to the opening price yesterday, this morning, but this thing ran like a rocket ship yesterday. MEOH was a good winner. Got to be very happy with that. All right, traders, that concludes today's NewsWare's Trade Talk podcast. You guys know what to do. Let's go out there and let's make some green.